Pokemon had a rough transition into 3D. It's become basically common opinion that the games have gone down in quality since the 3DS releases. Pokemon Legends Arceus seems to challenge all that. Game Freak took their time to break out of the formula and make an action RPG. It says it on the box, and I was worried because it's made by Game Freak, and honestly the game looked a bit janky in trailers. But I have to say it's the most engaged I've ever been with a mainline Pokemon game since Black and White. But there's an ugly truth to this game that must be commented on, and that's that this game is ugly as hell. This dude's hair texture looks like a Mario 64 level. Okay, real talk, the game is overrated, but it deserves the praise, which is the strangest thing I've ever said about a video game. At face value, the game has its flaws like every game does, and I'd say it's pretty rough around the edges and lacking in polish. And you know, there's arguably a lack of content for $60, but the same can be said for a lot of Nintendo Switch games. I think the game is great, but it still feels like Game Freak is still rushing things a bit to hit that release schedule. Plus undergoing a genre shift, and it's pretty good. And praise where praise is deserved. It's the perfect compromise, I guess, between me being critical on release deadlines with Game Freak's less than stellar track record. It proves that Game Freak can make good games, and hey, it's why they've obviously been put on the map. But not only can they make good games, they can also innovate. And I don't think it's a coincidence that after receiving the most backlash ever in 2019, Game Freak wanted to take a risk after Sword and Shield. Game Freak is lazy was the main phrase repeated all the time during the Bring Back National Dex movement. God, 2019. And I think they are lazy when it comes to playing things safe, or the rehash of the slow, tired progression of the Pokemon formula. In this industry, with even Platinum Games saying, screw it, we're tired of trying, it's appreciated that Game Freak went in the direction of still going for a single-player action-adventure game. The thing about Legends is that you can mostly just feel it oozing with potential. It feels like the engine for that dream home console Pokemon game that we always wanted. Well, the game already sold like 2 million copies, and everyone is praising the hell out of this game, so I think we'll get a sequel. Legends is a great game so far. I'm about to enter the snow area, and I'm surprised by how much I was genuinely gushing over this game. But am I biased just because I'm a Pokemon fan and Nintendo fanboy? People say this game is overrated because it gets praised from Pokemon apologists, and it just gets a pass for actually trying something new with Pokemon. And then there's the other side of the argument of people saying that Legends is a masterpiece and you're just a Pokemon hater if you say otherwise. Hot take, because of how limited the actual core gameplay loop is in this game, if you don't like the Pokemon premise, you probably won't like this game. Wow, shocker. Everything in this game is centered around Pokemon, obviously. Pokemon designs are the selling point of the series, so if you don't care to see, learn, interact with them, this game isn't for you. I know, hot take. The Pokemon premise, of course, still carries the game. That's not a bad thing, because the core gameplay loop of you being a Pokemon researcher revolves around you dealing with all different types of Pokemon. One of the biggest upgrades is just how much more detail they gave into the Pokemon. They feel much more lifelike now, reacting to the world around them. Or the Pokemon can feel like a bit of a scripted doll that just but it is a massive step up to the Pokemon that you would see roaming the wild area in Sword and Shield. Your team will actually interact with each other when outside of the ball. They're finally proper scale, and they have done fun things with the scaling of the Pokemon. They feel more alive than any 3D Pokemon, and it proves that it was a valid criticism of Sword and Shield. Even though the best thing about this game is that it is a Pokemon game, there is a lot more to why this game is good than successfully breaking the Pokemon formula. So let's get into the actual review, yeah? For returning Pokemon fans, the major break in formula is this game actually respects your time. Many old mechanics have been overhauled as to not break up the flow of gameplay. You no longer have to mash A through combat dialogue or leveling up text. Now you have to manually go to the menu to change moves or to evolve, because they won't just interrupt you after a battle to evolve or say, oh my god, your Mons learned a new move, make sure they forget one. Now all the moves are in a bank and you can just switch them at free will. I always forgot to look out for new moves that my Pokemon learned throughout the game. So many nice quality of life changes, like you can even change your Pokemon's nickname in the menu. When you enter a battle, it now transitions right away into the battle environment right where you were standing, and now you can control your trainer and move around during the battle, making it that much more engaging, or letting you move around to get a better view of the battle. Even if this mechanic is not new to Pokemon, it's a refreshing change to just battle where you're standing and not have to go to the entire encounter sequence every time you enter a Pokemon battle. It's just very seamless between battle and back to gameplay. Never really realized how much of that battle dialogue starts wearing down on you in the older games. But where the dialogue is cut there, don't worry, it's far more makes up for dialogue in the actual story. A major criticism of Sword and Shield is the bland and anticlimactic story. Though I haven't seen the story fully played out in Pokemon Legends, the premise and pacing alone already engaged me way more than Sword and Shield, even if the start of this game is a little slow. The pacing is still very good after the initial slow beginning of this game. Pokemon Legends starts with Protag falling into a void to then hear the voice of God telling them they have the power to create a new world, and most importantly, to catch them all. God then upgrades your smartphones and sends the Protag to feudal Gen 4 Island, where we meet this installment's Professor. Professor is the inventor of Pokeballs, but I'm convinced that no one on this island knows how to use them, because they were impressed that Protag caught an Oshawott. Did I mention this game has a bit of timey-wimey bullshit? Anyways, I named Don's relative Yon because Pokemon's boring, am I right? I think Yon was sent back in time by God to teach the islanders of Hisui how to actually use these Pokeballs, because I'm convinced everyone on this island was too dumb to use it before Yon showed up. Now Protag has to fit into feudal society and conduct Pokemon research or literally get sent into the wild to fucking die. You know, for kids. As Pokemon researcher, you will set off to different regions of Hisui to catch them all as God will. But a storm approaches the island as Lord Pokemon become frenzied and manic, suffering tremendously from the power surging through them, deteriorating their body. You know, for kids. It is up to the Protag to calm down these terrifying beasts by whipping pouches of their favorite foods right at their stupid faces, otherwise known as a soothing balm. Because nothing soothes me more than having burlap sacks of my favorite food thrown right at me. Kid's got an arm. You have help from wardens from the Diamond and Pearl clan, no relations, that were assigned to watch over the Lord Pokemon and Rider Pokemon that join your team after hearing your sick flout skills. What a cast of characters these wardens are. You got Waste of Time, Waste of Space, Himbo, Farm Kid, and Asshole. As the frenzied Lord Pokemon of the island become more and more of a threat, the Diamond and Pearl clan are at the brink of a civil war, and it's up to you to stop the bloodshed by fighting your way to the throne of creation to capture God and a modified Apricorn. The story this time around is overall more engaging because they actually tried more with the dialogue scenes, having different camera angles and sound effects. I've never seen a Game Freak protagonist so expressive. The more they up the production of the cutscenes, I can't help but feel like voice acting is missing now. Pokemon Legends has made a dramatic shift, breaking Pokemon out of the most vicious franchise release schedule loop. And of course they make hella money, so don't tell me Pokemon can't get voice actors. If Zelda has voice acting, I think Pokemon could have it too. In these cutscenes though, the textures are very unflattering close up. It's actually the ugliest this game looks. These textures are so compressed you can actually share these files on Discord without shilling for nitro. The game looks more than fine in my opinion when you're actually playing it though. I'd say it looks pretty good. As you go through the islands, the wardens will engage in feudal era Pokemon battles with you before the Pokemon League rules, which usually means they'll just throw all their Pokemon at once at you to jump you. Oh, you turn abusing. Oh my god. Now because of major battle systems overhaul, you can walk up to your rival and tell them their free XP to their face. Legends is also not like other Pokemon games where it won't hold your hand in trainer battles, saying what Pokemon the trainer is about to use and allowing you to switch to another Pokemon with a type advantage. Plus the trainers can now switch their Pokemon and come out swinging with multiple turns because of speed precedence. They're playing Megaten with a full party in press turns and I'm playing Pokemon. What the fuck? Hey yo, this game's kind of hard. I got carried in a lot of story battles with the game telling me what moves were effective. And I know difficulty purists might dislike the game telling you what types are good, and Forest EXP share, which made Gen 1ers run to a Temtem or some shit. But hey, anything that can get me through the main game in 20 hours and have a fun, challenging experience, I'm all for it. Game Freak once again showing they're the masters of pacing and they know how to pace their games. However, there is a steady level curve, and I found that it was expected that you get a level or two every time you progress the story. I ended up having to do a wee bit of grinding before facing Lord Pokemon after the first one absolutely waxed me. I barely got through a lot of these early game battles, mostly because I was kind of of barreling through the story, if I tried to complete the dex of every Pokemon I encountered, then I'd probably be over leveled. And I thought I was leveling at a good pace with doing light grinding and catching at least 1 or 3 of every Pokemon I saw, but then get one shot during story battles because I don't know what type of moves Pokemon have and I always get hit with moves I'm weak to. Also, I'm very stupid. Leveling up your team is given through the core gameplay loop of Pokemon Legends, which is researching Pokemon and filling the dex. Gotta catch them all. Catching Pokemon will level up your team, and doing quests at the Jubilife Hub usually give rare candies, but I'm hoarding them and never using them till the end of the game. Now, catching Pokemon won't fill out the dex right away, but you complete a few tasks ranging from how many you caught, defeated, used effective moves on them, or more interesting challenges like catching ghost Pokemon at night or catching bird Pokemon without being spotted. It keeps things fresh, and it's a good design choice to have to do these challenges to actually fill out the research requirements for a dex entry, but I personally got kind of bored of the research challenge fast, and I found it always just boiled down to catch a few of them, kill a few of them, and that really started to feel like a grind, so that's why I was kind of under leveled. I'm not the 100% completionist type in video games, so this is just a preference and not a critique. The good news is that for the action mechanics, the ball throwing is the best part of the game, so that makes catching Pokemon fun. Whoever made the sound design for the impact of a ball hitting a Pokemon's head deserves a medal. There's heavy balls and fly balls, and the different weight mechanic is very fun. Sniping Pokemon with fly balls made me realize that this was a Pokemon third-person shooter all along. So what genre is Pokemon Legends exactly, being a mishmash between action and RPG? If it's not open world like Breath of the Wild, and it's not at all like Monster Hunter, well, Legends is completely unique, being a ball shooter in some Dark Souls rolling where you're literally intangible for a moment during your roll. The Dark Souls roll. Fighting the bosses are a bit awkward, but a great way to make you feel like you're in danger with the animation, the impact of the attacks. Unfortunately for me, I found confronting aggressive wild Pokemon was a completely different story. They mostly have 2 attacks. They either charge at you with auto aim, like running into walls or cliffs. They just charge in your direction. They're dumb. Or they have auto aim attacks that will hit you no matter where you are. And when a Pokemon spots you, they won't leave you alone, lose sight of you, stop aggressively attacking you until you leave their area or decide to battle them. And it's because of this that I just abused the ever-living fuck out of the deer to get out of Pokemon's sight if I was caught and I didn't want to be caught, or I wanted to catch them, or I just didn't care. I essentially never felt the danger of aggressive Pokemon or actually need to deal with their attacks, because I would try to catch them. If I failed and got spotted, I would just run out of there and come back on the deer. So in my opinion, dealing with aggressive Pokemon outside of battle and not the boss Pokemon is the weakest aspect of this game design-wise and in terms of action elements. And I was kind of worried about that in my videos before Pokemon Legends came out. Well, the stealth mechanics of the game is fine. You have a bunch of throwing items to get out of sight, like ninja smoke bombs, or you can throw turds at their face, and even throw bait and lure to distract Pokemon or lure them in. The ball throw, again, is the most fun I was having with this game, and I could see how people could have fun grinding the entire dex or grinding for shinies in this game. But you're gonna need to harvest a ton of stone to get all those Pokeballs. This game has a big crafting systems, and those kind of systems always scare me because I really don't like inventory management, except if it's Resident Evil. But thankfully, the inventory system is pretty good and will end up being your main reason to return to camp. You will fill up your pouch very quickly, which seems annoying, but you can craft items from your bag or fast travel to one of many camps in the area and dump everything from your pouch to the box, and you can craft items from your box. If you think inventory management is annoying, just always go back to camps and dump all your crap. Also, since this game has very limited inventory space, especially at the start, I think having Pokemon type specific bait is kind of annoying. Maybe they should have done something like the quality of the bait, it would only work on certain levels of Pokemon instead of types. Anyways, I think it's just a bit cumbersome having type specific bait. Again, respecting your time. If that sounds annoying, the fast travel is thankfully optimized. The whole level's already loaded in, so you just end up at the camp. With the level design, you can really tell they learned a lot from Sword and Shield's wild area, because the level design is nothing like the wild area's empty early access MMO feeling lands. The areas in Legends are much more lush with assets, if you're okay with some poppin'. And Pokemon are way more lifelike than having sliding animations like in Sword and Shield. I'm happy to say the level design is actually pretty linear, and progressing through story points guides you through the area with level scaling and does a fantastic job at giving you a focused adventure throughout the map. The areas are free and open enough though to look in different paths to find shiny resource stashes, unique Pokemons, or getting collectathons like Unknowns and Wisps. Fuck it, it's Banjo-Kazooie. Hisui. It's in this varying linear path design and progressing through stronger and stronger Pokemons in Alpha as you go through the islands of Hisui. This actually answers my earlier question of what genre is Pokemon Legends actually. Well, I would argue the genre it's actually closest to is a JRPG dungeon crawler with action elements. The focus design is also seen with having a central hub of Jubilife, allowing the inhabitants to go through little arcs of their own through multiple side quests from the same NPC throughout the game. Side quest gives the small hub of Jubilife life, and it's something to do outside of catching Mon and the main story. This game actually did what I was fearing with the side quests, where it has a lot of repeated objectives of just capture this Pokemon, or fill in the dex entry of this Pokemon, or return me these items. And while the majority of quests fall under simple objectives like that, the quests have some pretty good writing, and even if the objectives are repeated, the dialogue gives more life to the Pokemon world and play well into the main theme of the game that Pokemon are terrifying creatures. Wait, actually never mind, they're adorable. Standing here, I realized that I never did the quest about the Drifloon and the missing child, and the weight of my actions just hit me like a rock. But I like the art direction of this game. It's a Pokemon game, that's always the highest selling point. The cell shading works, and the Pokemon and characters appear very vibrant, although it does feel like the colors are a bit washed out with the way the game does lighting exposure. Just keep most of the models at a distance, they look better from far away. Pokemon Legends gets a free pass with art direction, because like I said, that's the best quality of Pokemon, and Legends has characters and music remixed from other Pokemon games. But the new music feels very Pokemon, capturing the vibe with the soothing passage of time with the town themes, and capturing the mysterious magical world of Pokemon, especially traveling through the ghost-infested fields at night, only to be screamed off your deer by a roaring alpha. This game is terrifying. Pokemon are terrifying creatures. All in all, I'm glad Pokemon Legends turned out to be a good game. It actually makes Pokemon feel more like a home console experience and brought much needed life into a franchise that had no reason to change. So respect to Game Freak for breaking the release cycle and the comfort of the Pokemon formula. Although it's not a perfect game, can be rough around the edges, and some of the action elements fall flat design-wise in my opinion. There are some really good ideas here, like the Pokemon mounts and how much they've been overhauled since Sun and Moon. It's really fun to just ride around on the different Pokemon and just farming materials, looking out for any new Pokemon you haven't caught before. The ball throwing mechanic ended up being the most fun and unique new gameplay feature from all the elements introduced in the game to make the game more action-like. Please expand on this in Pokemon Legends too. How about after not being able to capture Pokemon that spot you and are hostile, just embrace going full third-person ball-throwing shooter? How about something like headshotting Pokemon concuss them, catching them off guard and having the same effect as a backstrike? And that way you can really lean into this risk-reward gameplay. If there's nothing to do except run away or enter Pokemon battle, if an aggressive Pokemon spots you, then meh. I mean, you can still knock them out, I think, by throwing turd at their face. But yeah, I would really like to see more of an incentive to just fight one-on-one with the Pokemon third-person shooter style, outside of the boss battles, of course. I'm also pleased to say that the game performs well enough and is stable with the odd glitch here and there, but is mostly polished otherwise, which is amazing for a series that went through a genre jump and still arguably had a pretty damn short development time. You gotta hit those deadlines. Good job, Game Freak. You made a game that probably already sold 2 million. They don't even have to try, so you gained my respect by actually trying here. Yeah, except this game sucks for making me waste my time looking for a big enough weasel. Stupid ass otter weasel.